I went to the Palm Bay fly-in and got absolutely no video of the trip. I was too busy making sure that I stuck all my launches and landings to even worry about it. On my way down there, something happened that most people don't believe when I tell them. It takes 10 hours to get to Palm Bay from my house, and after 9 hours and 30 minutes, my trike trailer decided to give up the ghost and release my trike like a sheep amidst the wolves, right out on I95 at 80 miles an hour. I was in the middle lane, I looked back, and my trike decided to fly off the trailer before my very eyes. A piece of my trailer that was still attached by a piece of paracord acted as a rudder for it, counteracting the angle of the road. And as I watched it, it slowed down from 80 miles an hour to 0, all while staying in the perfect middle of the middle lane. The van following me slowed down with it and set a pick for other traffic not to hit it. Slammed on brakes and went to the shoulder, sprinted back along the road to where it was, dodged traffic into the middle of I-95 at 9:30 at night, dodged traffic again as I drug it over to my weak trailer, threw it back on there, secured it with some paracord, and off I was on my way. No worse for wear. It had to have been the grace of God, because I'm just not that lucky. For the whole rest of the weekend, I had no issues and made it back 100% safely. The trailer even worked with a couple of adjustments and some suggestions by some engineers that I told the story to while I was down there at the fly-in. I got to see the beach up close from my paramotor for the very first time while I was there. It was so beautiful. I did some unassisted high wind forwards on my trike while everyone else at the time was doing reverse launches. I found out if I put my trims out to 6 on the hadron, it'll shoot up past that tipping point and I can use deep brakes to catch the surge. I did it a few times while I was there and got the technique down, I think. That should give me a bit more versatility as a trike pilot. I love to go to these fly-ins and really learn something, and I think I got to do that this time. So when I got home, I got to fly with my hometown crew, and we went off on this longest flight of my career. This is footage, and I'm chasing the train down around Madison and feeling like I'm James Allred. Okay, this is kind of scary. If you look, I'm about to go head to head with my friend, and he's coming directly at me, and I'm coming directly at him, and I still can't see him. See if you can pick it out, and see how long it takes you before you get to see him. There he is. It scared me in real life. I couldn't see him. Anyways, here I go on the train ride.
Driving that train, high on cocaine. Casey Jones, he's better. Watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And know that notion just crossed my mind. This old engine makes it on time. Leaves Central Station about 8:45. It's River Junction at 17:2 at 9:45. You know it's traveling again. Driving that train, I'm cocaine. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind.
Love this little pond. It's way out in the middle of absolutely nowhere, and I've never foot drug it, but I really do like to go low right here. Something about it. If you watch right behind me, my buddy does do a foot drag, and I caught it just on video in the background. This year I'm going to have to fly to Hanging Rock. It looms over every single flight that I have out of my home field. Eventually I'll get to see it up close and personal. This is one of the first flights that my friend took on his logoed wing, and I didn't really get a good picture of it. But he did say that he liked flying it around. It was about 3.5 years in the making. He bought that wing and then got hurt during his first couple of days out on the field and never got to fly it. He ended up selling it, recuperating, finally getting back on his feet, and then he searched the guy out again, and I think he sold it to him for what he sold it to him for, so that was pretty cool. He just kept it for him. Anyway, this is the first field that I ever really flew low in, and nobody introduced it to me. It was something that I just found one day, and I was so proud of myself for going below the trees. And anyway, I was showing my friend that there are a lot of places around where we live, even though there are a lot of trees, there are a lot of places where we can fly low if we want. One of the cool things about flying low is seeing the wildlife. What's really neat right here is I chased this deer away, but really this coyote was chasing it, and then I saved its life. It may have been a wolf. It's very big, but there was a four-legged something or other running at full tilt away from me. It was probably the biggest four-legged thing I'd seen. Definitely one of the fastest. Like I said, this was my longest flight ever, so it was 1 hour and 45 minutes. I hit every single good spot that I have in town, at least within, I'd say, a 5 to 10 mile radius. And this is one of my favorites. I've been given permission from the owner of this field. They said they love seeing us fly, and we were happy to oblige. Here you can see my friend doing a couple of wing overs over the house there. Come to find out, there was a guy outside and he was cheering us on. I went over there and followed him. And man, I love this field too.
I'm slowly turning into you, but you don't know this. To be true, you say I'm lying and I never really tell you the truth. But your face is getting older. So put your head on my shoulder. Yeah, put your head on my shoulder. Yesterday hit me that I do all the little things that you do, except the same little things that you do are annoying. They're annoying as hell, in fact. It kind of struck a little bell, in fact. I like to keep my little shell intact. And I'm slowly turning into you. And I'm slowly turning into you.
I left this in here to show the importance of staying aware of where your brothers are while you're flying with them. I was working on trying to stay a certain altitude above the ground, really close, even though there was rolling hills. In fact, I'm coming up on one of the biggest hills that I've ever tried to stay really, really low on, and just trusted my engine. But when I got to the top, I realized that my buddy was just to the left of me, and if I had bailed out to the left, he probably would have been in my way. So it's really cool that he was watching me and I was watching him, and we tried to stay safe from this. Just a little moment of silence for not hitting my prop this time going in between those two trees, and a little reverence for going really super low right here when it used to be so scary because it's only these two little fields surrounded by trees and power lines. So there's actually nowhere to land right here, but my engine was running good, the weather was perfect, and I was ready to finally go low to see my own production plant. If you look right in the middle of the shot right here, that's called First Avenue, the first one closest to the river, and there's a parking lot right in the middle of the shot, and ours is just to the right of the parking lot. That's the Charlie Soap plant. Pretty neat. I lied. There is one place to land. It's right in the middle of the shot right here. It's an old abandoned building, had been torn down, and the grounds have been cleaned up, and there is absolutely enough room to land right there. There it is, the big open space, but I just didn't have the balls to do it that day. So we kept flying away from Mayodan, and this is after we went to the airport. I said, hey, I'm gonna fly for another 20 to 30 minutes just to see if I can run my tank out. And so here's a couple of shots of going past the golf course, which is really close to my airfield, and it's where I grew up. Just to the left is where I actually grew up. That fence is my dad's fence. Did a little touch and go. I love to see my tire, I guess the frame rate is gonna make it go forward and backwards for a little bit. Pretty cool. Right here I saw a friend of mine, so I looped back around, did a low pass on the golf course to see him, and if you look really closely in my rear view mirror, you'll be able to see him standing beside his garage. Mr. Jolly, I hope you one day get to fly one of these things.
The game he plays for keys. Hustling times in ghetto streets, trying to get over. That's what they're trying to do, y'all. Taking all that he can take. Gambling with the odds of fate, trying to get over. Trying to get over. Trying to doesn't mean he wouldn't know. Can't be like the rest, is the most he'll confess. But the time's running out and there's no happiness. Ooh, super.
I think this guy was none too pleased. I really didn't think anybody was out there playing that day. We went straight back over to the airfields. I say airfields plural because I'm not allowed to land on this finely coiffed field. I am subject to landing in a old hayfield because for some reason somebody doesn't like Charlie soap, I guess. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed my little tour of Mayodan and my stupid stories. Stay tuned for more. Thank you. I actually do have one more thing I'd like to ask the audience. I have this camera called the GoPro Fusion, and every once in a while, a video does not want to stitch, and I end up with this. And I'm wondering if anybody out there can fix a video that has already been deemed unstitchable by the GoPro Fusion. If so, please let me know in the comments below or on Facebook or however you know to get in touch with me.
Some bright morning when this life is alright.